Welcome everyone to week 6 between the Foxians and the Schnabeltier. I think it's the Schnabeltier. It does look like EJ will be ringing for Zainu Baba. I also want to give you a warning that I am the only one here, so it might be a little bit scuffed today. So just yeah, be patient. And yes, I know it's on the wrong screen here. There we go. It does actually look like the Schnabeltier will be running with their first lineup with Neptune on tank and Booney on the bench. So I'm very interested to see what happens here. I think this has kind of been talked about a little bit, but I don't know if they've actually ran this in a scrim. It does look like both teams will be showing the Orisa right now. Orisa's in a pretty decent spot right now, so I'm hoping to see more Orisa kind of down the stretch here. We do see a big difference in support lines. We see Drew and EJ kind of running that Brig Lucio, or not Brig Lucio, Juno Brig backline, which has been pretty good for a little bit now. And on the other side, we see the Moira Lucio coming out for Jack and War. Jack now switching over to the Juno. I do think Jack actually has been playing a decent amount of Juno lately, so it wouldn't surprise me to see him keep running out on this. I just realized if Booney's not here, I don't know why he's not casting with me. He should be in the lobby. Akua actually on this Bastion, which is really interesting. I don't know if they were expecting Orisa, but I think Orisa actually does match up pretty well into the Bastion. So being able to kind of zone a lot of that damage off, eat a lot of it with your spin, and just have that kind of force to stabilize around. But early on here, Neptune actually getting chunked really low here and gets taken down by Dire. The Foxians are just starting to run over the Schnabeltier here. I'm assuming this has something to do with the kind of the healing output from Moira. Although she does have that like the resource management, you have to worry about managing her resource. She does do a lot of AOE heals here, so I think just the healing on the side of the Foxians is just a little bit higher. They're able to kind of keep Dire up a little bit more. Neptune just took some chunk damage early and just didn't get that topped up. So, but yeah, we see them going back in. They've now swapped off of the Brig onto the Kiriko, so maybe providing a little bit more healing for the front line. Looks like that is starting to work as the backline of the Foxians is getting chunked really low here. Dire is in, but he's kind of by himself. Gold is forced early from Dire, and they will try to look for an opening here. Meanwhile, Akua does have this Bastion form up. If the Foxians start to push, and he does just pop this Bastion form, again, just trying to shoot the Orisa. Neptune is, in fact, in the gold right now. Jack actually gets the Coalescence here. Gets taken down by Zinth. Big pick there by Zinth. Dire also falling really low. Super scrappy fight. Scorpio and Zinth managed to get the kills here, though. But look, it is slightly in favor of the Foxians, and now the Foxians are starting to find that cleanup there. Really scrappy fight. Look, there was an opening there for a second for the Schnabeltier, but unfortunately for them, just not quite able to finish the job. Dire also, or not the Dire, Neptune also invested that Orisa ult, so now Dire will have one of his own coming into this next fight here. The other big ult I'm looking at right now is War's Sound Barrier, building it before both supports of the Schnabeltier. This barrier you can either play to try to answer some aggression or just play really aggressive with the Sound Barrier and try to just use it as an engage. First off, Akua actually using the Bastion ult, trying to look for the backline here. Does not quite manage to find anything. Zinth also finding Jack. Down the main heals there is huge. The beat from War just kind of stabilizes his team. It looks like the Foxians will try to just kind of stabilize off of that beat. But EJ does use that Kitsune Rush. Scorpio finds the kill into Akua, so it looks like this might be the Schnabeltier's fight to lose. HP does take down Zinth, but I don't know if that will be enough. On top of that Kitsune Rush. Kitsune Rush is just such a big ability, and although he started that fight off at about 60, EJ able to kind of build that ult. Finding that kill onto HV early kind of forced the beat out too, so honestly a really good fight there for the Schnabeltier, and they do hold on to a lot of their big ults here. The big one here is Ninja Drew's Orbital Ray. That's just probably one of the best ults in the game. You can kind of layer it for damage or layer it for healing. He does get forced really low. We'll have to stabilize. And just kind of pops into the backline, but uses it too late, and Neptune gets taken down. A lot of ults are being forced here. The Schnabeltier dumping the remaining ult bank. But I don't know if that'll be enough. The Foxians are just managing to stabilize off of that. Zinth gets taken down there too, and it might just be cleanup here for the Foxians. Neptune's going to try his best to touch, but there's not much he can do here. And he is just forced out. So yeah, honestly, overall, pretty good fight there for the Foxians. The map, and pretty good map, I guess, from the Foxians. Outside of the one fight that they lost, they look pretty dominant. It's just kind of the big difference maker of who's winning these fights is just kind of whose tank ends up getting taken down first, or not whose tank, who gets the early picks. Like I think the one fight that the Schnabeltier won, they managed to take down HV really early, and not a whole lot you could do to stabilize when you're down one like that. Jack actually off of the... No, I think he's just using that... yeah, he's just using the Juno for the speed ring out of spawn, which does make sense, because the Moira will be able to get back pretty quickly. Zenth now goes on to this Echo, and Aku on the other side goes on to this Junkrat. We know he really likes that Junkrat, especially when he's feeling a little goofy. The one thing I'm noticing here is outside of HV, who's on the Sojourn, there's not really a hit skin to deal with this Echo. Sojourn also is really unreliable with dealing with that Echo, because outside of the rail, you can't do a lot of burst damage, so... Neptune gets run on, just bullied into a corner there, and forced to back up. But Zenth is on a bad angle here, not able to get a lot of help from his team, and just gets taken down. I think Zenth was trying to time that with the Orisa walk, but the Foxians just decided they were going to let Zenth stay in the back line and just kind of trade the front line. They might be able to catch Neptune here too. I think they will. A lot of big stagger kills coming out here for the Foxians. There's still more staggers. EJ tried to teleport in to help out Neptune, but not a whole lot he can do there when it is a 5v2. The good news for these Schnabeltier is they are starting to get some of these big ults. Specifically, both these support ults are going to be huge here. But on the other side, the Foxians are starting to get some big ults of their own. Neptune forced to use the gold early, and the Foxians just managed to back that up. Now the Curie Rush is up. Let's see if they use that early. They actually get... Jack gets taken down by Neptune there. Down the Moira, you only have Lucio heals, so the Schnabeltier might be able to win this without using any ults. Beat and Tire are used. They need to kill this Tire. The Tire actually takes down Zenth. The Continue Rush is used on top of that. Also the Orbital Ray. And meanwhile, Tire is just running at the back line. That is devastating. The Orisa ult on top of everything, too. Absolutely devastating for the Schnabeltier, using both support ults and the Orisa ult. That's got to signal a swap here, I think, from Neptune. I think he knew he was the last one alive. He does go onto the ball here, which makes sense. Try to put some pressure on that backline of the Schnabeltier, especially against the Orisa. It's really hard to kind of play front to back against the Orisa, so going for the backline is exactly what he does. Neptune manages to take down Akua. Zenth also uses the duplicate to get the Lucio. A beat here from this copy could be huge. Ninja Drew also finds Jack with his torpedoes. I think the Schnabeltier will actually be able to win this fight here. But the longer the Foxians are able to stay alive, the more percent they're going to get. Already at 94. Not quite going to get 99, I don't think. Actually, they will now that Jack's in the fight. Jack, knowing he's going to stagger himself, but wants to get his team 99, so... I do really like this ball swap, like I said. Kind of changing your priorities, playing as a team. The only thing is it does kind of leave Ninja Drew out there kind of alone. Not a whole lot that can peel for him. So Akua on this Tracer could be a problem here for Ninja Drew. We'll see if he's able to kind of catch anything here. But yeah, during the rotate, Neptune tries to catch something, not quite able to find anything, but Scorpio does pop this OC. At the very least, should be able to get some space here. Jack falls very low. And HP actually manages to find the kill onto Scorpio. Neptune is just doing so much here on this ball, almost close to this ult, but it might be too little too late. As Dyer is just running at the backline. The thing with the ball here is I don't think it's a bad idea to run this sort of play style, but the problem is the rest of the team is not really in a comp where they can play around that. Scorpio trying his best, but unfortunately for the Schnabeltier, I don't think there's a whole lot they can do here. Probably trying to stall into point, but it's just too little too late. So I did like some of the adjustment the Schnabeltier were making, but now that Booney's going to come back in, they're going to have to probably completely switch their comp up. I don't know if this is necessarily a hot take, but I don't see Booney sticking to that ball or even going to a Doomfist. Maybe a D.Va. I could see him maybe playing a D.Va, but... yeah. We're gonna go for a little map break here. We'll see. The Schnabeltier have got to be cooking something up here, because the Foxy is looking super dominant early, but anything can change in this series. Stay with us, chat. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back, everyone. Next map here will be Flashpoint. Both teams are making some composition swaps here. I don't know if this is real or not. I need to actually do some check some stuff real quick. I did not know they were actually going to roll out on this. But it does appear that Jack will be on the tank. Let me see if I can find it real quick. I don't even know if he signed up to play tank. Oh, no, he did. Jack War... No, yeah, everyone can legally play this role. Let me actually do some quick calcs here and see what SR this is at. No, it'd be Akua and Dyer. This would, in fact, be a 3220 SR for the Foxians. And on the other side, we do see a very traditional, in my opinion, I think this is a very good comp coming out for the Schnabeltier. So we'll see. Maybe the Foxians trolling themselves a little bit. Maybe they will... kind of pay for their own hubris here. But yeah, they have War playing Mei. They have played that before. They have also played Akua on support before. But Dyer and Jack switching roles. I don't think they have played a single time this season in matches or in scrims. So HV actually finds a kill onto Zint, so maybe they are cooking. Booney is walled off, and the Foxians somehow are managing to take this. Playing about 300 SR under the cap. Still managing to win first fight very cleanly. I'm not sure if maybe the Schnabeltier were were sleeping on this comp. Maybe didn't think it was going to be as good. Booney actually switches over to the Rhine. Playing the honorable Rhine duel here. But playing against a Mei is just so hard to push through these tiny chokes here. War, I'm sure, is going to look for something here. Try to isolate, especially Booney. We do see the Schnabeltier actually rotate long and manage to force that wall out early. So now they will be able to engage here without having to worry about the wall. Now on the other side, Scorpio is going to have a wall on his own. Might be able to catch something here. But HV is just on the high ground here. So now Zenth has taken the high ground from HV, just catching so many of those stray rocks from Zenth. The wall actually does come out, catches Jack. Booney blocks the shatter for himself. Zenth managing to clean up that fight, and the Schnabeltier will be able to take that fight there. That's just such a long and drawn-out fight, though. The point was already at 80%. The good thing for the Schnabeltier, too, is they did get that shatter out. I think it did catch someone. Maybe there was someone that was slightly ahead of the Booney's shield there. The wall is used really early. They're not able to catch anything. But they do manage to take down Jack. The Schnabeltier are playing this really aggressive here. I do really like putting Neptune on this Baptiste. One of the most skilled mechanical players in the league. Also kind of very good at that support. Juno ult is layered on top of the Blizzard. Also, so is the Shatter. Booney is frozen up. Not a whole lot he can do. Big beat there from EJ. Keeps everyone alive. A lot of ults are thrown outside of the spawn here. But these kills might actually seal the point for the Foxians. It's going to be close. I think actually Jack or HV will be able to make it to the point in time. Booney will be back. We'll see if Booney's able to make any magic happen. No, it looks like Jack will be able to touch the point at 98%, and Zinth gets staggered out late. They do have this Lucio, so they might be able to make another recontest here, but it's going to be very, very messy here. Both teams here playing a little bit of an getting ego checked here. Actually, the Schnabeltier are running low ground. They should be able to get this point here. But this window here from Dire, able to get so much space. The Schnabeltier are able to kind of... Actually, Zinth up top! Zinth on a huge flank here. Not quite able to find anything with the ults. But does keep his life. Booney finds Jack on the other side. No main take for the Foxians. Scorpio is taken down by Akua on this Juno. War goes over to the Pharah, identifying there is no hit scan outside of Neptune. Super messy fight here. War actually finds EJ. Neptune and Booney are still alive, which they can at least stabilize off the back of this, but Neptune does get taken down by HV. Booney is alone here against 2 DPS and Dire. And Booney has to step off the point there, try to get some cover to stay alive, and just the point flips over and not able to touch again. This map here is making me viscerally angry at both of these teams. One, we have the trolling comp swaps here by Jack. And the other side, we have the Schnabeltier playing to touch spawn doors and having to pay for it and lose that point. I think if they were to just play further back, they would have been in a much better position to win. Or just disengage faster. They just got caught out too far there, and they just had to stagger back to get to the point. HV gets 3 kills with the Shatter, or with the Blossom. Almost gets charged by Booney, but HV with the 4K. Jack steals the 5K though. HV has been lights out on this Reaper here. Able to get some early picks and just able to get so much damage in these really scrappy, really brawly fights. One thing I am looking out for too, Zinth actually goes over to this Echo, try to put some pressure on War. Now, the Schnabeltier are the only team with a Mei, so this wall is just so much more valuable. HV gets taken down, the Shatter blocked by Booney. Booney hits a Shatter of his own, hits Dire. Dire should be taken down here. Zinth is in the back line, but there's a huge scrap going on the front line. Booney catches Dire, looking for Jack, manages to find the kill onto Jack, and the Schnabeltier are able to win that. They did trade ultimates, but they traded Shatters, but they also forced out Akua's Orbital Ray. It's a really huge clutch play there for Booney to kind of set up his team to win that. He is super low. I'm not sure if Neptune can see him or not, but Akua might get caught out here. Dire is looking for him. It's a couple of his stickies onto Dire, but 8 HP. Dire is trying so hard to just stay alive here. And actually, the Flyers are traded on both sides. Booney is super low here, though. Not quite enough sustain here. Jack might get taken down. If Jack dies here, that could be huge for the Schnabeltier. The lamp is used from Dire to keep Jack alive. Another really scrappy fight, but ultimately does come out in favor of the Foxians there. War goes over to this Tracer. I am not a fan of the Tracer. I could see, understand him saying he doesn't want to play the Flyer and Zinth on the Echo, but I would honestly, if I were him, go back to Mei. Because I think the Mei was actually getting a good amount of value, and just being able to play around that Blizzard I think is better than having to play around this Pulse, because there are the Ice Block and the Lamp kind of can sustain people against that that Pulse. Not a guaranteed ult there. Jack is flanking actually in the back line. If Booney, it looks like, has identified that they just get that first choke for free. Blizzard is used. Jack ends up getting taken down there. Booney running at the backline, trying to zone out Akua here. Dire gets taken down in the meantime. HP actually getting 2. HP, again, is just getting so much value on this Reaper here. But he does actually back up. Even though he did get 2 kills, he does not want to play against the the Bap, the Mei, and the Rhine. That is a pretty deadly core to play against if you're not playing safe. Aku actually gets taken down super early. Jack also charges onto point with only Dire alive. I don't know if they even want to fight this. The Blossom is used the beat and used in response. Scorpio and HV are traded out. 1 DPS out for both teams, but Zenth actually uses the duplicate onto the Reinhardt and manages to find Jack. Looking for more, looking to get Dire here. Not quite able to get it, as Dire is just getting, like, somehow able to get so much life off of just those jump boots. Shatter thrown out, doesn't connect. And Booney actually hits the charge onto Jack. Jack falls super low. So does Booney, though. Booney at 1 HP. Not a whole lot he can do at 1 HP. Another critical mistake there for the Schnabeltier, playing way too aggressive and got caught way out of position. Their entire team was split. I believe Zenth and Booney were in the back line, but the rest of the team was still sitting on point. Jack actually managed to find Zenth there, so 90% for the Schnabeltier, but this looks like it will be flipping in favor of the Foxians. Good thing for the Schnabeltiers, they did force a 99%, which is nothing to scoff at. War does have this pulse bomb. Also, Scorpio is just around the corner from this blizzard. Jack is looking for something again. Now he's looking to touch spawn doors. But yeah, the Jack just backs up. Doesn't want to play as big of an ego, play as an aggressive as the Schnabeltier were doing when they were defending their point. Again, War with this pulse could be looking for something. There is a lamp. Lamp is actually used super early there. I don't know if War's identified that, but if he does look for it. Doesn't catch, but it does get a lot of damage onto Neptune there. Scorpion and Zenth managing to find kills. Zenth finds another one. Zenth going on to kind of his signature Pharah here. Aku is the only one alive. Aku and Dire are the only ones alive for their team. So not a whole lot they can do there, but they actually managed to take down Zenth somehow. But yeah, with only Lucio heals too, it is not guaranteed over for the Schnabeltier, and the point does flip. The wall from Scorpio zones off Jack. Not quite able to touch, and Jack gets hit by the pin from Booney. Booney already has this shatter. Lamp is forced. Booney actually gets taken down. The Foxies just have so much focus fire into Booney, but the good thing for the Schnabeltier is they did not have, they already had flipped that point, so right now, as long as they don't stagger, they are going to have another 20 seconds to respawn and still be able to contest this next point. Just based on the way the tanks are going, it looks like it will be on the side of the Foxians. So this will be the Ducks, it looks like. It doesn't quite show on the replay, but just the way the teams are playing, it looks like it will be playing for the Ducks here. A lot of ults are going to be here for both teams. The good news for the for Booney specifically is he doesn't have to worry about this shatter. Window used early, but HV just goes for that Blossom, manages to find EJ, and Jack actually hits Neptune with that Fire Strike. So both supports being down there, there's not a whole lot you can do. Zenth just needs to try to get back to his team. Not a whole lot he can do here. The point is already in favor of the Foxians. The later on these players die, the more percentage the Foxians are getting. They are just staggering themselves. The Schnabeltier need to regroup. Beat is used on top. So is the Orbital Ray. Like I mentioned. Oh, Booney actually hits the Shatter. Hits 3. Crazy Shatter there for Booney. But he is so low. I think that it looks like the Schnabeltier will be able to win this next fight. HV is still in the backline. Gets taken down by EJ eventually. Actually, Aku is still in the backline too. I didn't even see that. Zenth manages to find the kill, but now what's going to happen is Booney trying to touch that point. The rest of the team, again, is split from him. Booney is on the point alone. His team is really far behind. I think they are going to manage to get there in time, but Neptune is not in the fight. Only Lucio heals. The Shatter actually hits. The freeze does connect onto Jack. Lamp is used, but Jack is still super low. And Jack somehow able to get just topped up there. Jack is still 1. I don't think this is going to matter as the Foxies are starting to find these kills. Foxians take another really decisive map on a comp that is, again, 300 SR lower than the cap. So the Foxians tried something, I guess, kind of caught the Schnabeltier a little bit off guard. And again, we're going to go to another map break. We'll be back shortly. welcome back, everyone. Next map here is Numbani. Very interesting, too, because we do see the Foxians are running that same comp that they ran last map with Jack on the tank. We did see them play a lot of Rhine last map, so I'm curious if they are going to stick with a Rhine comp and try to just force Rhine on Numbani, or if they're going to go to something a little bit more traditional. We do see Jack showing the D.Va right now. The one thing is, like, I know people have, like, War kind of known for his support, but they have been running this comp where War's on DPS and Akua is on support. As War has described this to me before, they're kind of still playing the same roles, because especially when you have War on, like, Mei, for example, he's still supporting his teams by, like, staying alive, getting those walls, building his ult, and Akua is still doing DPS by just playing, like, people like Ana or, like, Baptiste or even the Judo last map. And able to kind of get a lot of damage thrown in there, even playing a role that doesn't typically get as much. Yeah, War is now going the Flyer. I'm not sure if he's aware that Zenth is matching Flyers on the other side. The good thing for the Schnabeltier is I feel like a lot of these players that are in right now are on a lot of their more comfortable roles here. So we have Zenth on, like, that Flyer again that he's known for. Scorpio, I believe, is mostly kind of likes to play a lot of hit scan, so playing this Ashe makes sense for him too. Zenth falls super low here. Booney actually is able to split the backline out, but gets slept, gets stunned, gets taken down. Down the tank. Not a whole lot the Schnabeltier can do. Forced off of the high ground, but they do have to back up here, wait for Booney to get back to the point. Meanwhile, Jack is set up on this high ground here. Jack has taken a lot of chunk damage here. Zenth is trying his best to chunk him down. Booney will be back here shortly. So the Schnabeltier have another recontest, and with some of the Foxians having to play on point, they are isolated here, but Booney just gets taken down so low and gets taken down by Akua. The Foxians still are trying to just find these picks. Booney is just in a really rough spot here. It is very clear the Foxians have decided their game plan here is going to be just focus Booney. He does swap over to the D.Va, try to get himself a little bit more sustain here, but everyone on their team is kind of is playing someone that can just shut down Booney on the dive here. Especially, like, playing that Winston is just so hard, so the D.Va swap is almost required from Booney here. Jack actually used this bomb early. Zones off the backline, kind of gets Booney split here again. Who gets split, who gets slept, gets very low. Nano is used onto Jack, who on the other side also gets split. But now Booney is Nano too. Booney looking for the backline here. Dyer might get caught out here. Dyer does have this trance if he wants to pop it. A lot of ults being used this fight. Everyone is falling so low, but the kills aren't quite coming in yet. Zenth close to this barrage. Likely is just going to pop it whenever he gets it. War actually manages to find a kill on a Scorpio first. Rally used first by EJ. Trance used on the other side. The High Noon used by HV. Super scrappy fight here again, but the Foxians looks like are going to come out on top here. Aurora, I think, gets 3 that fight on Pharah. Again, a role that he's not really known for, but still able to get some value. Getting that AoE damage from that Pharah in these really scrappy fights is able to just put out so much pressure and just get so many final blows. Zenth on the other side has this barrage still. Scorpio also very close to this Bob. The barrage is used by Zenth, catches HV. The Bob used by Scorpio. A lot of pressure getting put out here by the Schnabeltier. It looks like they will be able to win that fight, but had to use a lot of ults to do it. Booney is still out of mech here, so does get he does actually just throw himself off the map, trying to reset faster, but that was a little late. Jack might be able to get back before Booney does, so Foxians might have an opening here, especially with the bomb, the Nano, and this barrage coming up. A lot of ults coming out for the Foxians, so the Schnabeltier have got to be aware of this and have got to play very careful, try to bait these ults out and just not die to especially this barrage here. The bomb used early. That's a really good placed bomb. Manages to find Neptune. Booney also gets taken down. Split off into a corner. The Nano used on top of everything just to kind of clean up this fight a little bit faster. Scorpio is going to get staggered here. Throws himself onto the point just to keep that cart from rolling. Neptune close to the Nano, so Booney is also close to his bomb, so there might be a little bit of stall on the table here for the Schnabeltier. But again, just the ults are building so fast for the Foxians. Akua gets flown onto by Booney, but Booney just gets burned. War uses the barrage to kill Booney, but it was way too close and kills himself in the process. Booney also gets the remake. I think War is the only one to fall this fight, so the Foxians might have to reset here. The Nano is used. Booney is looking for Akua in the backline, but the Trance is used to keep him up. High noon used by HV. Very well placed. Will it find anything? Gets Neptune. Flux support is down. EJ is the only heals. Uses the rally. Try to keep everyone alive. Scorpio finds HV on the other side too. So it is still an even fight, but I think the spawns are slightly favoring the Schnabeltier. Neptune goes this Kiriko to try to just get back to the fight faster. Actually, Zinth gets taken down by War. Scorpio finds Jack on the other side, so it looks like the Foxians are going to have to reset. Booney falls really low, but will get topped off, get some juicy support ult charge for his team. But now the supports on the Schnabeltier have swapped to running Juno, or not Juno, Zen and Brig. So very low healing, especially if they don't win these fights fast. War will be able to put so much like pressure onto the backline here, which is the damage over time. Brig as the main healer is really rough. Not a whole lot of healing coming out from those packs and that Inspire, but Dyer actually gets taken down early by Scorpio. Jack uses the bomb, doesn't find anything, and manages to get the remake though. Nano is used on Jack. He's still so low, looking for EJ, looking for this backline. Zinth actually puts 2 with the pulse, takes himself out in the process, but with the 2 kills from the pulse and that late kill onto Jack there, Foxies again are gonna have to stabilize. Used a lot of ults that fight there too. If I'm the Schnabeltier, I feel like I'm starting to get a little bit more confident in my team's ability here. Neptune close to this Trance. Zinth actually goes over to this Ashe too. A lot of ults are being built here, but Jack decides he does not want to have fun anymore. He's just going to play to counter Booney. Neptune actually flanking, I think, manages to find Dyer. Also, the Blossom in the backline finds 2. It looks like the Foxians will get taken down here. Bomb is used from Booney. Catches Jack, but I think he's going to go right back to spawn and switch. They're probably just going to play some rock, paper, scissors here. Booney might go back to this, might actually go to, yeah, I was going to say he might go back to a Brawl tank just to kind of play against this Zarya. I wouldn't hate to see either of these tanks just swap to Winston either, because this backline especially, really easy to punish. The Brig Ana and the Brig, or the Zen Ana and the Brig Zen are both very easy to punish with some sort of Winston here, but Jack is rotating far left. The problem with this Zarya is if the Schnabeltier do not shoot these bubbles, he will just stay very low charge and will not be able to get a whole lot done. The good thing for Jack here, though, is his team has a lot of ults coming up. You could just use this High Noon to just try to force the bubbles. Again, a lot of ults here. The High Noon and Trances are traded. EJ has this rally, really wants to brawl this. Jack falls super low. War also falls super low. Ice Block is forced. Neptune does get taken down. I think the Schnabeltier will be able to recover. HV and Dyer are the only ones alive. Dyer actually managed to get a fully charged volley onto Booney, but will just be staggering himself. And with 30 seconds left, that's not something you can really afford. I believe he will be able to regroup and still get back to this fight in time, but a almost 4-minute time bank dwindled down to almost nothing by the Schnabeltier. Zinth also does have this Bob. Again, with both support ults, both Zen ults being used, this Bob could do a lot with this, just putting in so much pressure here. But Jack is already fully charged. The Bob is used. Bob gets thrown out, walled off. Nano is used onto Jack. Close to this, Jack is really close to this Grav. The Blizzard also used, gets a lot of space. Scorpio somehow staying alive. The Grav is used. Booney is so close to his Annihilation. If he can survive long enough to build this Annihilation, he does not. He gets taken down inside of the Grav. Neptune, again, is so close to this Trance. He is the only one alive. Is not able to do a whole lot on the Zen. And the point does roll in. The good news, though, for the Schnabeltier is they did force overtime. So if they full cap here, they will be guaranteed another attack. It was looking really rough there with like 4.5 minutes onto that last point. So being able to force overtime's got to feel really good if you're the Schnabeltier. I do think a lot of those swaps started to come out. The Schnabeltier were able to play a lot more kind of as a team on that last point. One thing I've kind of noticed from them is their team has kind of been getting split, kind of opening themselves up for like having certain weaknesses, I guess. I can't think of the right way to say it. They're getting really split, and the Foxians are identifying that and playing very together, playing very focused, and able to kind of take advantage of those weaknesses in the Schnabeltier. So going into that last point there, you're kind of required to play a lot more as a team, a lot more closer together. So I think that's part of why the Schnabeltier looked so good on that last point. That on top of just having so good respawn advantage. So we'll see that Schnabeltier are running a dive look here. I'm not a huge fan of this, partially because I don't think they have been scrimming this very much. And also kind of like we saw in the previous ones, I don't think the Schnabeltier have been kind of on the same page for a lot of this map. So switching over to this dive, that will become a lot more evident, and it will be a lot easier to punish if you're the Foxians. Scorpio on the Sombra, if he's able to kind of identify these hack targets, could really set his team up. But just so hard to kind of dislodge people off this high ground. The hack comes out onto War. War managing to recall in time, and Scorpio gets taken down in the process. Like I kind of said going into that, I think Scorpio was just a little bit early. Booney was not quite able to fly in and get that follow-up. But Jack is taken down really low. The fact that he is able to stay alive means that he's able to get so much ult charge for these supports. Like I kind of mentioned earlier too, War's job isn't even really to get these picks here. War's job is to kind of draw attention and just stay alive. On this Tracer, he's just looking to put some pressure and doesn't necessarily want to get these kills, but that's exactly what he did. Forced out Scorpio to try to chase him, and was able to stay alive through that. Jack already almost 60% to this bomb, looking for something in the back line, looking for Scorpio, I think. The nade catches a lot. Jack gets stunned, actually. Jack gets taken down. And as long as the Schnabeltier are able to kind of just regroup and stabilize here, I think they'll be set to take this first point. Yeah, still super messy. Scorpio, I think, getting a couple of kills here. A couple of headshots. This is another one of the heroes that's a lot more... Scorpio is a lot more comfortable with. So the Cass, I think, is a really good swap. Cass is also really good if you are identifying that there is a Tracer. You can play a lot more to try to punish this Tracer. Nano use early onto Booney, who is looking for the backline. Nano use on the other side on top of War. I don't know if the Nano was meant for War. I think it might have been meant for Jack, but... Yeah, like I said, War not really... He hasn't really been looking for these kills, so... Just kind of uses it to stay alive. Booney actually, knowing the D.Va is down, looking for these kills here. Gets a lot of space off of that. Booney really wants to take down Akua, knowing that Akua is a flex support and probably their best mechanically skilled player in right now. Actually boops him off the map. But yeah, Akua has got to be one of your first targets here. Booney actually knows Dyer is still alive. Does not see him. Booney doesn't know where Dyer is. He's right next to you, Booney. Oh my god, he doesn't know. Where is he? They have no idea. The footsteps. Now this is good if Dyer's able to get this off angle here, but it also, if he's found, he can get chased really quickly. EJ does run towards him. Trance is forced. He's forced to trance to get out. His team looks like is going to win the fight. Yeah, the Foxies look like we'll be able to come out on top there despite using 2 ults. Bomb is used from Booney. I don't know if that signals he's going to swap or if he's going to try to stay alive here, because Neptune is still alive alongside, I believe, EJ. And Booney actually gets Dyer super low. The Nano is used onto him. He still is looking for Dyer here. Meanwhile, just putting so much pressure on this cart. Sees the stickies land and manages to kill Akua there. Both supports are down by the Foxians. War's the only one on the point. I think the... Oh, the remake. Jack actually touches the point and manages to get the remake off too, but does get taken down again. Now going into this last point here, again, another 4-minute time bank. What's crazy now is the Schnabeltier, from a 4-minute time bank going into third on defense, they actually have a chance to guarantee that they won't lose this map. If the Schnabeltier cap this point with over a minute left, they will be guaranteed they cannot lose Numbani. Jack again swaps over to the Zarya. third point here kind of a lot more, it's a lot easier to run Brawl in this third point rather than dive. But the thing is, the Schnabeltier's comp isn't, like, specifically dive. They can play really fast around this D.Va, but actually Booty gets naded, tries to go in, and just gets demexed. I do think it would be good for the Schnabeltier to swap Booney over, but keep the rest of their comp. I think the rest of their comp is not bad going into third here. War gets taken down, but so does Akua, actually. Dire able to get the cleanup here, going off of the Zen onto this Brig. Much more traditional comp. I do think if Booney was to swap, he probably would have done it by now. But the good thing for the Schnabeltier is they're close to 5 ults here. The problem is if they don't go fast, the Foxians are likely going to be very close to 5 ults of their own. If this fight goes long, they either will get ults this fight or get ults going into next fight. This grab, again, is another thing I'm really scared of. The rally getting used early means you don't have really any sort of burst healing through that, that grab. But Jack actually gets taken down really low. The nano is used onto Booney. Nano used on the other side on top of Jack. Booney still has this bomb if he needs to use it. Takes down Jack. Looking for more. AJ gets taken down on the other side. Booney throws the bomb into the tiny room, but not a whole lot he can do there. The Schnabeltier use all 5 ults and lose the fight. Meanwhile, Jack still has this grab, Dire has the rally, and War still has this Blizzard. So now we see that full comp swap. I really would have liked to see that last fight. I guess they just wanted to hold on for those ults and just try to dump them all there, but did not work for their team. I do really like this comp they're playing right now, but it is looking really treacherous here for their team going against these 3 ults for the Foxians. It is a much better comp, but just taking into account the ults, it's really tough to play against some of these ults. Jack gets walled off. 2 of the 3 ults were used, and Jack actually gets taken down. Scorpio falls super low. Booty gets taken down too, but the good thing for the Schnabeltier is they do force out 2 ults. The problem with that, though, is they went for a 4-minute time bank already. It doesn't look like they will be able to cap with over a minute. So that advantage they had where they could have been looking at an unlosable map down the drain. Just the swaps came in too late and just did not have the ults. And that time bank already super low here. Again, Jack still has this grab, throws it, catches 2, but he is super low charge. And those kills are starting to come. Actually, kills are traded. Booney, if he gets a Kua here, this is huge. He does get a Kua. Both DPS for the Foxians are the only ones alive here. HP gets taken down and War will follow shortly after. Grab is used and the Schnabeltier able to survive that. On top of that, they do have this Juno ult, and since the damage buff the Juno does provide, likely the rest of their team will be able to get their ults very soon too. So there is a very good ult rotation that could be coming up, but Akua does again have this nano, building this nano so quickly. Like we said earlier, leading with that orbital ray, but Zinth gets taken down. Jack falls super low on this Orisa, the nano is used on top of him, able to run at the backline. We're super close to this Blizzard. Blizzard could be game ending here. Uses it, looks like catches 2. And Jack does get frozen and taken down there. 20 seconds left. Zinth is going to be the only one I think that possibly could touch. No swaps are coming in too. Scorpio goes over onto the soldier, try to get a little bit more speed there, but Zinth close to this Bob. If he hits the Bob, he actually might be able to touch with the Bob. But he's still only 96%, so no guarantee they'll get it in time. Gets slept too. Scorpio gets taken down. Bob used. Bob thrown on the point. Blizzard is used from War there too. And War's Blizzard just kind of zones everyone off the point. Booty super low, close to that Annihilation. Does not get the kills with it. And the Foxians managed to take a clean sweep here over the Schnabeltier. I'm really thinking here. Who do I give player of the map to? I feel like a lot of players, like the Foxians overall as a team just played so well. Let me go ahead and get myself in here. Let's see. Like I said, I'm the only one doing this, so I'm kind of, it's a little scuffed right now. So we go to this one. Where is this one, maybe? I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if I've actually done a full, I've done the graphic for the MVP interview. There we go. Well, I didn't update the score either. There we go. Okay. So, I think if I were to give MVP, I would either give it to Jack, because Jack kind of popped off on the Orisa, which I wasn't expecting. Popped off on the Zarya. Got a lot of value there. I'd either give it to him or I'd give it to HV. I'm kind of split in between them right now. I think ultimately, at the end of the day, I'm going to give it to the only player that did not off-roll. Hello? Hi, HV.
Hi.
I really want to get your input on the shenanigans that was happening. You've been selected for match MVP, by the way. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Um,
So the shenanigans, you say, like the Jack tank
yeah,
shenanigans?
yeah. Part of the reason I gave you the MVP is because you're the only player that actually was playing on his main role.
Yeah, I was a doubter.
You were a doubter?
And I was proved wrong.
Yep. There we go. Let me update the graphic here real quick too. So why did you do that?
Why did we do Jack tank? He literally just said, "I think I want to play tank," and then just did it.
What was kind of going on with your team? Like, what were you guys talking about during that?
War was like, "Why are we doing this?" And then we went in, and Dyer was like, "I guess I'll play BAP," and Jack was kind of just like, "I want to play Ryan against Booney."
Yeah. So
that when it worked on that map, then we just rolled into the next one.
Yeah, I feel like the first one, it's like if he wants to play Ryan, it's like okay, whatever. But the fact that you ran into the next map and kept it the same, I was like, what is he gonna play? Is he just gonna? I don't know. Are you
It's Numbani. It's
what was
map.
What was kind of going on with your team when it started working? Were you guys all like, Jack, you were right? Were you like on your knees, like bowing down to him, or?
Partially.
Partially.
There's also just a lot of laughing, I think, too.
Yeah. So you guys were going into this pretty chill.
Yep.
I don't know if you knew this. Did you guys look at the calc, the SR calc?
No.
3220 was the SR you guys were running at. So yeah, like going into this, I guess. I know there have been a lot of Schnabeltier doubters. Were you guys going in like worried at all, or were you going in pretty confident?
Well, we were worried that, if Neptune and Zinth were popping off, I mean, they can easily carry.
Yeah.
So that was our main worry, but it was kind of like as long as someone was marking Zinth, and, I mean, Neptune was doing stuff, but he was also on tank the first map and then support, so it was kind of like, as long as we could secure a pick, it's like he can kill people, but it doesn't matter as much after we get a pick,
I'll give you El Clasico, but I just saw War join the VC and I was gonna get some input from him too. So I'll go ahead and I'll give you El Clasico. If you weren't named match MVP, who on your team would you give it to and why?
Jack, because for some reason he did pop off playing tank, but I also shout out to Dyer. He was going crazy on the BAP and the Zen.
I don't know if you guys. I was really confused. I don't know if you guys saw his flank on Numbani. If you didn't, you should watch the VOD. He was like
coordinated.
That was coordinated. Okay. Okay. Jesus.
He was actually like hard bombing that moment too.
Yeah.
He was like, all right, so I'm gonna do this. I think I can build trance. I can go in, and then we're just gonna full int on them, okay? And I'm like, okay, bet. I'm with it.
Yeah. War, now that you're here, I would just like to get a very brief synopsis on what you were saying, because I know you're one of the more vocal players on your team. How angry were you with Jack when he did that?
On like a scale of like a 1 to 10, when Jack did that, I was like an 8. But then he actually like started cooking. I'm not gonna lie, like Jack is like under like valued off like SR his sheet for like every single role he plays on. And I think this is just like another way he's going to show like, yeah, he can go on tank. We can run a comp that's like super under SR, and he can still diff.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely an 8. I like, I'm a very meticulous guy, I like going with the plan, sticking with the plan, and then Jack just like logs tank, and then we go in, like whatever, it happened, it worked, And when we run that composition again, that's for all the Fyxestroll Foxians doubters to see, in my opinion.
I do think one thing I do want to last thing I want to say about that is I think that is probably the most in character thing I've ever seen Jack do. It's like,
yep.
I'm kind of surprised he did it, but at the same time I'm not surprised. Like that seems like something that he would do. Like, yeah.
That's really true. That's really true.
That
Also,
is
Sense
true.
our MVP. Don't get it twisted.
Sent did not
Yeah,
play.
you're a true MVP.
A Centurion did not play. He does not get MVP.
Nope. Hey, chat sends the MVP. That's all you gotta say.
Okay. I think that just about does it. I've been yapping for a lot. We do have a match at 10, so stay tuned. That will get prodded. I believe it will be War. Are you casting? Is it
Yeah,
you and
you'll see me
Booney?
back here at 10.
War
Yeah,
and Booney will be
me.
casting Sea Dragons versus Apes. So I think that's going to be a really good match. So stay tuned. Congratulations again to the Fyxestroll Foxians and to HVSec for his match MVP. But yeah, stay tuned, guys. We'll see you again later. Just have a nice night.